totally do agree. You want the best time of your life. It will not just magically show up. You have to create it. So everything you do is a deciding factor for the kind of life that you have to live. Welcome to the conversation on TOS Television Network, your digital first Pan-African news network. And as always, the conversation comes to you from Abuja, that's Nigeria's capital city. My name is Adesuwa Suyi. Moving straight into stories and happenings from across Africa, starting with Ghana. So the Spanish company that owned a truck that exploded and killed 13 people in Ghana last month has been fined $6 million. The truck was transporting explosive to the Chirano gold mine run by Toronto-based Kinross Gold Corporation when it collided with a motorbike, caught fire and exploded, leveling a roadside village and injuring at least 100 people. Away from that, Thomas Sankara's prosecutors are requesting a 30-year prison term for Burkina Faso former President Blaise Compaoré. Compaoré is accused of complicity in the murder of the revolutionary leader in 1987. The former president, who was Sankara's close friend, has denied any role in his death. And the last story is on the European Union lifting its financial sanctions against Burundi. It cited a more open political climate and the return of refugees in the Central African country under new President Evariste. The sanctions were imposed in 2016 after the late President Pierre Nkurunziza's decision to pursue a third term in office, which triggered deadly street protests. That's quite an interesting news coming from Burundi, I beg your pardon. So that's it for development across Africa. We're going to go on a quick break. Not necessarily a break, because I'm going to be bringing you COVID-19 updates from across Africa. Yes, COVID is real. It's still ravaging. You need to do your part to ensure that you and the next person is safe. So COVID-19 update from across Africa, and then it's straight into the big story. All right, you're still watching the conversation on TOS Television Network. Before I bring you the big story, remember that you can be a part of the conversation. Just follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. That's TOS TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. It's TOS TV Network. And of course, stream our content on www.tostvnetwork.com. Now, straight into the crux of the conversation, that is the big story. And today, we're going to be talking about something quite interesting, actually. So we're looking at mom entrepreneurs breaking rules in business and beyond. We do know that it's not easy to, be an entrepreneur in this part of the world. When you're a woman, it makes it a little bit difficult. And then when you're a mom, it's like taking it a step higher. So I'm not going to be having this conversation with myself. I have with me someone who's, breaking rules and shifting the goalpost in the hospitality sector. I'm talking about Shetu Gamaliel. She's popularly called Chef Mimi. She's the CEO of Dine and Park Limited. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Hi, Adesua. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's move straight into it. I did say earlier that, when a woman puts herself out there, say, I want to do business, I want to be an entrepreneur, in this part of the world, basically, it's a tad bit difficult. It's like you're setting yourself, putting yourself at risk against the whole world. Yeah. Now, it's a different ball game if you're somebody's wife and then you're a mom. So for you, when did you know that you had to break the rules and do things differently to get ahead? What was the deciding factor for you?
So I have not always been an entrepreneur. I have worked with various organizations. I served with the NCC, and after that I had a job in a security firm. I was never satisfied with what I was doing. I believe strongly in giving in my best into everything I do. Like excellence is a key word for me. Yeah. So working my 9 to 5 and always having to, when am I closing, skip a heartbeat before I get to work. I wasn't fulfilled with that job. So I sought for what I was passionate about, and then I went after it.
And would you say, because I know that they would say that every business has their own rules, and
Yes.
then to maybe get ahead in that business, you have to follow the rules of engagement.
Yes.
But I know there are people, maybe like you, especially in the hospitality sector, who have said, look, to get ahead, I have to do things differently. Is that did you have to get to that point where you have to decide that, look, I cannot keep following the status quo. I have to do things
Definitely.
differently. Okay.
I had to keep reinventing myself. You know, like it wasn't something that you're just going, everybody's doing what I'm doing. People pop up every day doing the same thing I'm doing. But then what makes mine spectacular and different and more endearing than the others, you know? So for me in my business, I keep reinventing myself as much as possible. And of course, there's a status quo and there is a particular way you ought to do things and social classes that you have to be in and follow and all that. But I do my things differently. I don't have to follow the crowd. And so I try to stand out all the time in the line of my business.
There's been a mom impact that in any way.
Oh my God. Immensely.
Okay.
So I am first a mom
Okay.
before an entrepreneur
Okay.
or a business woman or whatever it's called.
Okay.
I'm first a mom. My kids and my family are my priority. And my kids inspire me. I have an 11-year-old, I have a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old. So they come up with different ideas. Like, Mommy, why don't you do this way? Why don't we try this recipe? Why don't we do this? So they inspire me a lot, and their fresh ideas give me more ideas. And then I take that and I elaborate it and, you know, do something about it and make it more, you know, more contemporary that people can accept in these times. But my kids are my inspiration.
Okay.
They inspire me.
That's quite interesting, actually. That's quite endearing to hear. I know that over time, when I've spoken to women, moms, I like to talk about moms because I know that it's a little bit extra when you're a mom and you're in business. So when I talk to mom who do business, they tend to tell you that when you dare to do things differently, then people judge you and throw a lot of things at you. So how did people judge you, and how did it impact the results that you've seen over time, and then maybe people that you have encountered in your line of business?
I turn a deaf ear to what every other person is saying out there. I do my bit as a mom. My job is very tasking and it takes a lot of hours. But I balance it out with my family, you know, so it's either I am there in the morning before they go to school, or I'm there when they come back, you know, from school, or I'm there before they go to bed. So at some point in my day, I have to balance it out. Nobody else sees that. They just see the fact that you're chasing after your job, you're doing other stuff and everything. My kids are always prim, they're proper, they're well taken care of, they're well fed. And whenever they're in public, they're well behaved, right? So I must be doing something right, balancing work and being a mom. And I think it's a bad thing actually for you to see someone and judge them, not knowing where they've been or being in their shoes or anything, like, you know. So for me, I don't care really. I do my bit as a mom, and so God help me, like I try my best. Yes.
Okay. You're in the hospitality sector. You're a chef. Everybody, she's a chef. Like she makes really good meals, right?
Yes.
And you're in that sector. It must not be easy. What did you do? What rules would you say you broke to be able to get the kind of standing or the footing that you have in that sector, especially in the FCT right now? What are some of the rules that you broke, you know, to be able to get here?
I won't call them breaking of rules. I just think I reinvented the rules, set my own standard, and followed them.
Okay.
Basically. Because if you follow the rules, you'll get nowhere, or you'll just get into big trouble. So for me, I just did what I had to do part time. The rules that I broke, I would say, is not following the trend, not following the whatever is happening. I took my time at my pace, doing my job. Like I didn't have to follow their rules to be a successful chef or an entrepreneur in the FCT. because there are lots of things going under, you know, and I've decided not to be part of it and just face my front. Basically.
I like how you put it. You just face my front. I
Face my
mean,
front.
mind your business and drink water.
Yeah, drink water and drop cup.
They really say, but I know that it cannot be easy to do things differently. To decide to do things differently,
Definitely.
it's you know, very difficult. Is there anything that, going from your experience, how long have you been an entrepreneur now?
13 years.
Oh, great! That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So, going by your experience, right? What do you think moms in business can do at this time and at this age, you know, to just that might not really seem like going overboard or breaking the rule, but to stay afloat and to stay level-headed? What do you think that it can do?
Okay, so I'll use myself as an example, right? What helps me stay afloat and level-headed is remembering that after all the hustle and bustle and the running around and the kitty kitty kata kata around town all the time, you still have people that you're responsible for. So regardless of how your day went or what happened at work or the monies you gained or the monies you lost, you have young souls that dependent on you for nurture, right? So for me, I would advise young moms and entrepreneur moms to find a balance. It's a difficult thing to do, but you have to find it. If not, something's got to give. It's either your career goes under or your kids end up suffering for you pursuing your career, but there is a balance. And I can't tell you how to find that balance. You have to find the balance for yourself. For me, I found the balance by, since I'm a chef, I can cook in my house, I can cook in my shop, I can cook anywhere. I bring the work home. So no matter how long I'm working or if I have to pull an all-nighter, my kids are there, they see me. They even come help me chop some carrots, peel some garlic, you know, and also they see me. So I've been able to bring my work home, and thank God I have a very loving and understanding spouse. He allows me work from home because that affords him time to see me, the kids to see me and all, and we don't have to suffer. Nothing has to suffer. Your job doesn't have to suffer. Your family doesn't have to suffer. If you find a balance.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me on the conversation.
Thank you for having
me. Thank you. And thank you for staying with me up until this time on the conversation. Do not forget, the conversation comes back to you tomorrow, Mondays to Friday. I'm going to be back here tomorrow. So don't forget to join again. But before then, follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. That's TOS TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. On YouTube, it's TOS TV Network. And of course, the website is www.tostvnetwork.com for you to stream all of our content. Thank you. My name is Adesua Osuyi. I'll see you again tomorrow.